Damn, yo. How my mic sound, y'all? It's not low, it's cool. Long as you say it's cool, bro. Bet. Say less. You feel me? Because I just don't want it to be too low and I'll be mad. I'm talking on video. Can't even hear it. All right, bet. Let's get into it, bro.
All the way back 7 years ago, Lavar Ball talked about the potential of Bronny James and how it relates to his sons.
We're seeing a lot of, like LeBron's son, LeBron Jr., who's playing great. Obviously the Currys. You're seeing NBA players whose sons are coming up and looking like they're going to be NBA players.
Well, here's the thing. You got to play the odds and the percentages. There have been a lot of great players, and all their sons are whack. Kareem got a son? No. Magic got some sons. Jordan got sons. You know, the monsters in the NBA, they dads wasn't that good. Kobe Bryant, his dad wasn't all that. Mm-hmm. That's why he's such a monster. Mm-hmm. So you look at, you got LeBron. It's going to be very hard for his kids because they're not going to look at him as LeBron's kids. They're going to be like, you better be just like your dad. And then after a while, that pressure starts sitting on you because it's like, wow, why I got to be like him? Why can't it just be me? And then they be like, oh, you're soft. You're not that good because the expectation is very, very high. My boys are good, great, but let's say I really excelled in football and made millions and millions of dollars. Do I spend that time with them now? No. I got the off season. I got to worry about myself. Now I just buy you everything. Now I get you a trainer and hope you turn out to be okay. Where the fact that I wasn't all that allows me to spend all that time and make my boys all that. Anybody who already had that expectation, a lot of their fathers don't want to put all that weight on them because people don't look at them as what they were.
LeBron wasn't happy about those comments and told LeVar to keep his kid's name out of his mouth. But looking back, LeVar Ball was completely right. Bronny has unfair expectations placed on his shoulders, but it's not just because he's LeBron's son. It's also because it's been LeBron's dream to play with him before he retires, and LeBron has made that well known. Both LeBron and LeVar have made crazy statements about their sons, but Lonzo and LaMelo earned their spot as NBA players. Bronny hasn't, and the Ball brothers are used to the high expectations since they were dominant in high school, and Lonzo went to UCLA while LaMelo played in Lithuania. Bronny was just thrown onto the Lakers after only averaging 4 points in college. LeVar was honest with his middle son LiAngelo and told him he likely won't make an NBA roster. Imagine if LeVar was able to force LiAngelo on an NBA team. Chances are it'd be very obvious that he doesn't deserve to be in the league. Now, LiAngelo has played in the G League and the preseason, but he was cut before the regular season because he wasn't good enough. Now imagine that LeVar tells everyone to quit criticizing his son and that he's earned the right to be an NBA player. That's basically what LeBron is doing with Bronny.
Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this.
Bronny could have stayed in college and developed into a decent player, maybe make the NBA one day, but instead, he's been forced onto the Lakers so LeBron can be the first NBA player to play with his son. The massive pressure and unfair expectations will only be a detriment to Bronny. He was never able to develop at his own pace or even find a role that suits him. Once LeBron accomplishes the record of being the first NBA player to play with his son, Bronny will either spend the rest of his career in the G League or being a laughingstock. And when LeBron decides to retire, Bronny's career will be over.
Damn. I ain't gonna say that. Look. I ain't gonna say that he not gonna be in the league once LeBron retire, cause I feel like that's crazy to say, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like that's crazy to say. You feel me? Like you can't just be saying that. You feel me? You can't just be saying that. I feel like he can fit into a decent role for the team, bro. I don't feel like that's a crazy role for him. Role player, boom. I'm not saying that he's gonna be getting 50 a game, but he can give you a 12. He can give you a 12 and 5. I feel like he can give you a 12 and 5. Not right now though. Not right now. He's not giving you a 12 and 5 right now. Give him 2 seasons, he'll be able to give you a 12 and 5. You feel me? And I feel like that's not bad coming off the bench. in a supportive role, just to chip in them extra points. You feel me? I don't feel like that's the worst thing ever, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Know that it's obvious? Unless you talk to the media or the Lakers, they're the only people who think Bronny is a legit NBA player. Just listen to JJ Redick lecture all of us at the Lakers draft press conference.
I want to clarify one thing you just said, which is Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this, right? Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work.
Wow. Dude's been an NBA head coach for like 5 seconds, already knows how.
Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all think Bronny deserves to be in the NBA?
To BS people. But the worst part is lying to people's face and treating them like idiots when they know what the truth is. That kind of thing, by the way, will make people start to hate Bronny James, and he's not even doing anything. He's just sitting there with his little sunglasses on watching JJ talk. It's like people who dislike rich kids, which I think is dumb. Like, what would those people all do if their parents had money? Would they say, oh, no, mom and dad, I don't want your money. I'd rather go out there and earn it all myself and possibly be broke. No, of course not. They would take
I know I wouldn't.
the money. So don't hate on the kid, you're just jealous. But we are already seeing how bad it's going to be this year for Bronny. A different NBA scout said, Bronny is set up for failure. It's like, what's the expectation here? And that's a good question. What do they expect? I mean, people are talking like Bronny's supposed to be a franchise player. No, he's supposed to be a role player. So what does a role player actually look like? Well, the guy taking one spot before Bronny is named Anton Watson. He played 5 years at Gonzaga and is 24 years old. 6'8", 225 pounds, averaged 14 points and 7 boards for the Zags, started every game, shot 57% from the field, 40% from 3. Zags went 27-8, made a tournament run, only lost to 1 seed Purdue. Meanwhile, Bronny is listed at 6'2", 210. 4 points a game, 36% from the field, 27% from 3. Started 6 games for a USC team that went 15-18, no tournament. But Watson got a 2-way contract, 1 year, $578,000. His guaranteed money, $70,000. Bronny,
Damn, he making Angel Reese money in the NBA.
4 years, $7.9 million guaranteed. So one kid grinded 5 years. His dad works in receiving at a food warehouse. Bronny will make over 100 times more guaranteed. You don't think that is gonna cause resentment from players, his own teammates? Charles Barkley said Bronny's gonna have a target on his back. You think? It's like that JJ Redick quote. Like, it's one thing to say, yeah, he's only here because of LeBron. But like, you don't expect them to come out and say that. There's a middle ground. You don't get on your soapbox and lecture people. Bronny's here because he earned it. Really? You can be a little more humble than that. Same thing with the money. I mean, sure, make him a draft pick, I guess, but don't pay him 100 times more guaranteed than a kid who actually earned his spot. It's disrespectful. But the Lakers aren't even the worst part. I mean, you kind of expect them to act like this. But the media really thinks that fans are this stupid. When Bronny and LeBron played for the first time in a preseason game, the broadcast made a huge deal out of it. Okay, it's a thing. But then they get on their soapbox, compare them to other father-son pros. The Nessers happened like 100 years ago. You got a hockey thing in there with Gordie Howe. But look at the baseball examples. Tim Raines Sr. and Jr. Yes, they played together, but their first pro game, Tim Raines Sr. voluntarily went down to the minor leagues to play with his son. Man said, it's my dream to play with my son, but instead of making it all about him, he didn't force the team to call up his son. He went to the minors. Can you imagine LeBron going to the G League? I would actually love it if he did that. I would really celebrate the moment. Now, they eventually played in the majors, but it was the last 4 games of the whole season. It was a losing season, just 4 of 162. But Ken Griffey, the son, was one of the greatest hitters of all time. And Ken Griffey Sr. was an MLB All-Star who won multiple championships, and he was still so good. They once hit back-to-back home runs as father and son in a game. Now that is historic. That is earned it. LeBron and Bronny, possibly the first father-son to score 40 points in a game, I'm sure. But LeBron will score 38, Bronny will score 2. See, even I'm now getting in on the hater thing. But I don't want to. It's almost like they're forcing us to, right? By shoving this down our throat. Bronny seems like a good kid. This is what happens, though, when they lie to us. It's natural to be like, no, screw you. But what about the other media, like ESPN? Entire shows giving opinions. I mean, surely First Take is gonna tell the truth. Remember what Shannon Sharp said about Giannis having his brother on the Bucks?
You got your brother occupying 2 roster spots. Are we gonna talk about that? You know good and well, Giannis, your brother's probably not going to be playing for any other team in the NBA except Milwaukee, and that's only because of you.
Yeah, Unc. Keep on telling him about how messed up nepotism is.
We see it all the time in coaching. We see it all the time in front offices. Yeah. They do it all the time, and we don't bat an eye. Not all of a sudden, for the first time, oh man, it's nepotism. Half the corporation.
Hey, look, I'm going to say it. I'm going to keep it a bean with y'all, bro. I be watching Shannon Sharp podcast. Man, he definitely, bro.
Is nepotism.
What? What happened to calling out Giannis for nepotism? Now it's shame on you for calling it out? How dare people say nepotism? What this really is about, actually, is the power of LeBron James. People are going to look back and be like, oh yeah, it was historic, all right. Historic that LeBron had enough power to get his son in the league. We'd never seen that kind of power. I mean, people were so afraid of him. Only people who would call him out had to remain anonymous. The NBA and teams were too afraid of him. It's why a lot of people hate LeBron James, the GM, controlling the roster and not taking any of the blame when it goes wrong, like with Russell Westbrook. This is GM. Like, did you see when he and Bronny debuted together? It was sick. LeBron goes up like he's in a full court press. Kind of weird to do a full court press in the second quarter of a preseason game. Like, you usually do that late in the fourth quarter of a close game. But then, oh, he's jogging back. Barely even marks his guy. What happened to the full court press? It's because LeBron was making sure the cameras could get a nice photo of the two of them together. And sure enough, what a historic photo. Thanks to LeBron James. This is all about him. He is pulling the strings, right down to what the pictures are gonna look like. So Bronny's being set up to fail, just like that anonymous GM said. His dad is making other people hate him, from saying on Twitter that Bronny is better than other NBA players that he watches on League Pass, to getting him drafted, to that guaranteed contract over 100 times more than other deserving kids, to orchestrating a fake photo. I feel bad because it's not going to end well. Like, Bronny's stats aren't going to save him. Bad stats in high school, bad stats in college, bad stats in the summer league. It's going to be a disaster. And really, LeBron made it all happen as usual. Now, the flip side of all this is what's happening in San Antonio.
Hey, man, how y'all feel about that, man? Let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments. I feel like, bro, Bronny got some upside. He do got some upside, bro. But it's not going to be for the next, like, 2-3 years. And I feel like his ceiling is probably 18 points, 5 assists, maybe 7 assists on a good night. You know what I'm saying? 20 and 7 on a good night. But on some, like, averaging, I feel like he can, like, average, like, 15. And he can average, like, 15 and 4 off the... He can average, like, 12 and 4 off the bench. I ain't gonna lie. And that's realistic. That's realistic. But I do want to hear how y'all feel about that. So let me know in the comment section, man.